Good morning, Central Publishing writers. This is Miss Savage here with your Monday tips. This is going to be a quick one today, but it's an important one. I'm going to talk a little bit about formatting a narrative. So this is different. This is going to be different than any of the formatting that you've done before. A lot of times, even if you've written a short story, you didn't have to think, okay, well, how does that look? How does it look professional? How do professional writers do this? But in this, you're going to share it with others ultimately, so you want to start thinking about that. Do know that right now I'm most concerned with the writing and the content, not necessarily the format. But if you get the format close or right at this point, it could save you a lot of trouble in the long run. So what I want you to do is take your favorite book. I just grabbed Frankenstein. Don't ask me why. It's not my favorite book, but and use it to kind of help guide you in the format. So one of the biggest ways I'm able to help you in this process is in May, end of April, May, I will take your manuscript and I will format it into a PDF, a professional version of a PDF. The size of the book will be 5 by 8. And so I'll give you your manuscript and I'll teach you how to do the publishing part. So that's one of my biggest aids to you this year, is in helping you format your manuscript professionally. So right now you're typing on somewhere where you have lots of backup copies. You want to have a couple of copies out there so you certainly don't want to lose your work, especially the longer you go. You don't want to lose that. So you're using Google Drive or you're doing Office 365, one of those, I would recommend, and also maybe have another hard copy somewhere else, or not a hard copy, but a digital copy saved somewhere else. So you don't want to lose all that hard work that you're doing. But in general, I would recommend Office 365, Google Drive. You're working on that, you're saving it. To have a standardized manuscript, you need to have your font will either be Arial or Times New Roman. I'm going to let you make a choice on that. It's fine with me either way, but it must be one of those two for it to go through the filters that I need for it to. So 12-point font. Okay, we printed books in the past with a 12-point font, and they kind of felt like middle school books a little bit. So what you're looking for is either a 10-point or 11-point font, and single-spaced with Arial or Times New Roman. So notice this looks very single-spacey, right? Okay. So let me repeat that again. Arial, Times New Roman, single-spaced, and you'll either make it 10 or 11-point font. Either one of those really work. In the spring, you're going to have to think through what do you want your chapters to look like. So look through some different options. The page numbers, I'll take care of the page numbers part. For now, you can insert page numbers so that you can kind of keep track. So when I do a deadline and say you have 35 pages due, you can insert page numbers now. In the end, I'm going to have you pull those out. But for now, it is helpful for you to insert your page numbers for you to keep track of how far you're going. On the format of your book, so if you look here, notice that whenever you have dialogue, it starts a new paragraph. And on this one, that dialogue is indented. And one thing to keep in mind as you're writing your story, you want to have a good mix of dialogue and narration. Like you want to details and then have some dialogue mixed in there. So if you have too long without characters saying something, it can leave the reader to feel like, okay, well, let's have them talk. But also if you're just talky, and you don't tell them what's happening, you have to explain what's going on physically around them. Also, look at the rules for punctuation with dialogue. So it can be very annoying if you get this wrong and if you walk under a a false presumption about how dialogue is punctuated, then and having to go back and change 20 pages of dialogue just for the correct comma usage in dialogue is no fun. So be sure that you're getting that right immediately. If you have any questions about how that works, come see me. But in general, Al Purdue, the online writing lab with Al Purdue, has some great grammar tips. And if you just kind of Google search Al Purdue punctuation with dialogue, then it can give you the format. Or come see me, come talk to me about that. But you want to do that right from the beginning, because it's a big pain to change that as you go along. So what else? I think that's it. All right, your book's going to be size 5 by 8, and we'll talk more about the formatting and things like that. But just it's different, and it is different to write something versus analyze something. So I'm excited about your process in learning how to kind of sit in the driver's seat and create a story, and just be persistent, be dedicated, consistently contribute towards your book, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off in the end. So this is your Monday tips and encouragement. Happy writing.